Welcome to another The Mandalorian episode review. Today we're talking about Chapter 13, Season 2, Episode 5, The Jedi. Now, as always, I urge you to please watch the episode before watching this review. We're going to discuss a whole lot of spoilers, and there's some big spoilers in this. Some I expected, some I didn't expect, but I geeked out over them. Now, if you've seen it, let's talk about it. Mando and the child continue their journey throughout the dangerous galaxy, heading into the planet Corvus, where it's said they will find the Jedi, but Mando finds a very interesting proposition as well. Now, I know that all of us were eagerly waiting this episode ever since episode 3, because we got the name drop for Ahsoka Tano. We know Dave Filoni is directing this one, so it had to be this one. And before I tell you my thoughts, I want to know your thoughts, because this is a very interesting episode. I think this is an episode that casual Star Wars fans are going to think it's good, it's really fun, I enjoy this episode. I think it's going to be much more special for hardcore, die-hard Star Wars fans. So let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below. Start the conversation, tell me your pros and your cons, and also I can finally show off what my merch looks like. Merch like this mask right here can be found on TeePublic and Redbubble. Links are in the description. This cool mask that you gotta wear right now, because this is the way. So the opening scene alone in this episode, right before the title card, is insane. It's at the gates of this little town. It's in the dark of night. The soldiers are on the grounds searching for something, and then we see her lighting her sabers, kicking ass, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, who looks so good in live action. I'm going to tell you right now, it bothered me their Aleku on the top of her head weren't as big as when we last saw her, but that's like the fan in me, the purist talking. I know it's not a bad thing, so I'm not counting that as a failure or a bad thing that the episode did. It's not. It's just something that, as a nerd, I noticed. But what a way to open the episode. We were waiting for her. They give her to us. She kicks ass. She is a badass. She gives this timetable for the magistrate who rules this little town to surrender and tell her the information she wants to know, and we'll get to that in a bit, because my god, if you know me, if you follow me for a while, if you saw my review for a certain Star Wars show back in the day, you know I'm so excited for this. So Mando makes his way into this little town, and he sees that this magistrate as a pure Beskar spear, and she offers him a deal. Kill the Jedi, and she'll give him the spear. And so he goes in to find the Jedi. They have this quick little scrap, which is also really awesome. Seriously, the whole look of this planet is so good for cinematography. There's such great shots throughout this episode, most notably, of course, when Ahsoka stops and is dead center in the middle of the shot. Those are the best. But seriously, this episode looks really great. I love the colors. I love how it plays with light and shadow. I love the haze throughout this episode. I love that it sets in a forest for a big part of it. Then the town as well, filled with fog, and it's mostly very dark, but just enough so you can see it and appreciate how they went into making everything look in this. So this quick little scrap leads Ahsoka to stop when Mando says, "Hey, I was sent to kill you, but I didn't take the deal. I want you to show me how to keep this kid safe." And she communicates with Baby Yoda, whose name we now know. His name is Grogu. And it's such a cute name. I love that his name is Grogu. Look, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to call him Baby Yoda still from now on. That's going to happen. But the name Grogu is so cute. His interactions with Ahsoka and Mando in this episode are just so pure. It filled me with joy seeing this baby not be threatened throughout this episode and just be a little bit trained, which is really interesting to know a little bit of his past because he was raised in the Jedi Temple while the Republic was still on an all-time high, and when the Empire struck, his memories fade away and his past becomes dark. And now Ahsoka first-hand seeing what happened to her master, who was supposed to be the chosen one, she is now very afraid to train him. And I love that decision making. I love that route that happens in this because it's classic screenwriter. You think this will lead you to your goal, you find it actually deters you, you have to try another thing, and I love it. And so this leads Mando and Ahsoka teaming up, infiltrating the village. Ahsoka does basically everything on her own. She kicks the ass out of the gate guards and everything. She runs through the village. She heads into the magistrate. Then it's just Mando blocking the way of Michael Biehn to go and protect the magistrate. Mando as well kicks a lot of ass in here. And I was kind of disappointed as a fan of Michael Biehn to see that he's just this one random guy in this one episode because he's dead by the end. But nevertheless, a pleasure to see Michael Biehn finally in The Mandalorian. Now we just need to find out who Jamie Lee Curtis is playing, and she might be a Jedi. So as Mando frees the prisoners, helps the villagers, and finally deals with Michael Biehn's character, Ahsoka is having this awesome fight with the magistrate that I loved. I did feel like Ahsoka should have beaten her more easily, and we never do see what happens to the magistrate, if she dies, if Ahsoka just lets her go. But after a very even scrap between the two of them, Ahsoka finally asks the question, where is your master? And who I thought was going to be Moff Gideon. It's Moff Gideon. He's an admiral. He's over her. She works for the Empire. It makes sense. Ahsoka asks, where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? In this review, I cannot express through words to you how excited I was. I screamed. I became a 5-year-old girl all of a sudden because, whoa, Mando, oh my god. They're bringing in Thrawn. They're bringing in Thrawn. It's either that or this finally confirms we're going to spin off into a Rebels sequel, which I really want to see. Now, I do believe that this is more the Rebels sequel than Mando Season 3, but if it is Mando Season 3, I just want to say, Disney, Taika Waititi has been in this show. He has directed episodes of the show. He has just worked with Michael Fassbender on a film. You got your strings right there. Now just tie them. Just tie them in. Michael Fassbender as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Do it. And so the village is safe. They have a new leader with a little sweet old man that was just protecting everyone in this house. And Ahsoka tells Mando to go to this new place, to an old Jedi temple, to place Grogu, which is such a good name, on top of the mountain, and to connect to the Force, to call out to other Force users. Maybe a Jedi will hear them. I'm not expecting it to be Luke, but there aren't that many Jedi left, so we gotta pick and choose here, guys. It could be Jamie Lee Curtis, whoever she's playing, it might be a Jedi. It could be Ezra Bridger. We got the name drop of Thrawn, and Rahul Kohli has been toying with us all over on his Twitter page. My other theory, and I think it's the least likely to be honest, but for all we know, Cal Kestis from Jedi Fallen Order is still out there. Cameron Monaghan is a live-action actor as well, so he could very well come in and join the roster of Mando. Guys, I know that this episode probably isn't the best overall, like the story isn't the most spectacular one, whatever, but not only to see that really purposeful and great animation quality when it comes to the coordination of the fights, the look of the shots, the look of Ahsoka, to how she moves around, that was all really great. But to see the growth of Dave Filoni as a director from what he directed in Season 1 to this might be my favorite episode of the entire show. Season 1 and Season 2. I loved the Jedi, and I am more and more in love with this show and with the risks and how far it's going to tell a story that encompasses all of Star Wars. Just nothing but love for this episode, for Dave Filoni, for Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. It hurts my heart that we will not see her any more of her. Prove me wrong. Please. And also, Michael Fassbender as Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's right there, Disney. Do it. So those are my thoughts on The Mandalorian Chapter 13, Season 2, Episode 5, The Jedi. What are your thoughts on it? Did it satisfy all your cravings for it? Are you more excited for the rest of the season moving forward? What do you want Thrawn to come in as? Michael Fassbender in Mandalorian Season 3, or the sequel to Rebels we never thought we would get, but it finally seems to be here? Let me know all of that in the comments below, and thank you so much for joining me weekly for these adventures. Thank you so much, and please, if you haven't done so yet, if you're new here, click the subscribe button and share with your friends, because you guys gotta start the conversation in the comments. That's the most important part. Also, it really helps me and the channel out. Most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and until the next video, love each other and love the movies.